Okay, guys. Let's quickly look at this question. They asked the student to actually what explain how why oxidation of what acetyl CoA to carbon dioxide by the Krebs cycle, why it is a central process in energy metabolism. All right. So for you to be able to answer this question, your knowledge of Krebs cycle is needed. All right, and you are supposed to know that what the Krebs cycle is also known as a citric acid cycle, also known as a TCA cycle. Why should you know this? Because, bro, they can actually switch this question by just changing this Krebs cycle, and you might be confused, right? So know that the Krebs cycle has two other names. Okay, so let's answer this question. The Krebs cycle, also known as citric acid cycle or TCA cycle, is like the grand central station of what cellular energy metabolism. All right. So now they said that oxidation of acetyl CoA to carbon dioxide. So you now talk about this process to this process. Do you understand? You talk about this process to this process, then you end by talking about the importance of this process. Okay. So for acetyl CoA entry, acetyl CoA is derived from what? The glycolysis. We have spoken about glycolysis. All right, it's derived from pyruvate. Okay, so it is derived from what? Carbohydrate, fat, or protein metabolism. So it will now enter the Krebs cycle. You can see how acetyl CoA enters the Krebs cycle. Okay, so now these two carbon molecule merges with what? A four carbon molecule known as what? Oxaloacetate to form a six carbon molecule known as citrate. Okay, so this acetyl CoA binds with what? Oxaloacetate and forms citric acid or citrate. Anyone is still the same thing. Okay, then moving to the next one now. After this citrate is formed, series of reaction occur. So citrate will undergo series of enzyme catalyzed reaction, releasing two molecules of what? Carbon dioxide, okay, and regenerating oxaloacetate again, which can go back and begin the Krebs cycle. Do you understand? So that's the importance. If this CO2 is not produced, oxaloacetate will not be regenerated again to continue the Krebs cycle. You get? So energy extraction now. So during these reactions, high energy electrons are captured by the molecules NAD and FAD, converting them to what? NADH and FADH2. All right. So these electron carriers can then shuttle the electrons to the electron transport chain, where they can help to produce what? ATP. Good. So this is the cycle I've spoken about it. This combines with this to form what? This, right? Then in the process, CO2 has to be released so that what? Oxaloacetate can be what? Produced again. If the CO2 is not released, the Krebs cycle will not continue. So that's why by oxidation of this acetyl CoA to CO2 is important, because what? Oxaloacetate has to be produced again. You get? All right. So ATP generation. So through oxidative phosphorylation and electron chain, the energy from these molecules is then harnessed to create what? ATP. They're just basically talking about these things. You know, they are basically important in electron transport chain where they donate electrons. Okay. So we are just trying to add more talk, more flesh on the bones, so that the examiner will know that okay, these students are actually good. So this process also produces water and CO2 as byproducts. So talking about the central role now, Krebs cycle is central because it integrates and regulates what? Metabolism of carbohydrates, fat, and proteins, producing a continuous what? Energy flow. Right? So that's it. But from this explanation, you guys have gotten why the oxidation of this acetyl CoA to CO2 is important, so that this oxaloacetate can be reproduced so that the cycle can continue. Without CO2 production, the cycle will not continue. You get? So that's it.